um, District of Columbia, Maryland, and outside of Maryland sometimes.
So you have been in this area for how long?
Quite a while because I raised my children in this area and work in different programs. In the 90s, in 80s and 90s, I worked in the drug program, and I worked with at nursing homes also, with people at nursing homes. Plus, uh,
A
regular
plethora of different
psychiatry.
jobs. Plethora of different jobs.
Plethora.
Listen, guys, Rachael is like no stranger to this mental health. I met Rachael years ago, probably over 20 years ago, we can say now. It has been a long while. And I met Rachael, and we have been friends from then. I introduced her to my church, and then we would go back and forth at each other's house. We just became friends, like, period. Rachael has a beautiful heart. She's very kind hearted, very loving, very caring, and that speaks for just her entire family, not just her alone, her entire family, her children. They're very beautiful people and with very beautiful hearts. But one thing which stood out with Rachael that I can speak about and speak about her is when she was a nurse, and she took care of the people she served. She was just that kind of person who makes sure that everyone was paid that undivided attention. And so I saw that. I saw that care. I saw that compassion. I saw that she was that kind of person. So with that said, I am on the move. You know how I have stated in 2025 how I wanted us to stay alive in 25, alive and aligned with whatever we're doing. Rachael has been a certified psychiatric nurse for years that I can speak for. She has a bachelor's from Howard University. Hey, you! Where?
I went to Bowie State.
No, she's correcting me. She's correcting me. She worked at Howard University. Yes, she worked at Howard University.
Bowie State University.
She worked at Howard University, but she went to Bowie State University, and yeah, she worked there for years, and she worked at
Hospital
PG.
Center for
Yeah,
years.
a lot of different places. This lady has a lot on her belt, but I know she focused on mental health. She's retired now, and this is the first time she spoke with me on my, I think that was my immigration journey. She did spoke on that. She did an interview with me on that. But today she wants to. I just want to prick her brain a little bit, and ask based on the climate that we're in as it relates to mental health. We saw that at the initial of the year, we had a few flare ups. We know that we had all of this fire in California, and our people at this time need some grief counseling, they need some support. How can you speak to those people, Rachael?
Well, for one, the community has to get together. They have to support one another. Then they have to look to the government, to the federal government, to the state government, to the all the communities in the state to see how they can work together to build back the community, to build back the state, to compensate the people who are in a state of shock and don't know what they will do. how they'll make out. They just need to come together from the church to the school to the all the different
Resources, yeah.
organizations get together and work out that situation.
Absolutely. Thank you for answering that in such an amazing way, because I know it was a loaded question. But what do you say, Rachel, to the mental health, the weight of the mental health that's taking place in our country right now?
Well, I mean, things are changing. There's a lot of changes. You have a lot of things going on. You have mentally, there is a lot going on. You have wars, and the wars, for instance, you have what is going on in Ukraine, what is going on in Israel and Palestine, and the country is all up into that.
Yep.
They are into it, you know. You look at recently at all the marches, and then on top of that you had elections, and and so everything just moving at a fast pace. More right now, it's very volatile because people don't know what they'll do. They're hearing on it, you have some news just come out like this, and they don't know how to take it, what to do. That's why they have to get together, get themselves together, get your thoughts together, and then act accordingly.
Yes, for sure. And I know I spoke about like how does it affect us? Like we were talking about that prior to me asking you these questions, but it's the effect that I'm worried about, the impact of the mental health that is taking place in around us. How do you recommend that we speak up and speak out if somebody's going through a very tumultuous struggle of mental health, mental illness? They know they're popping the pill, so to speak. They know that they're struggling with drug addiction. They know that they're struggling. How do you want them to speak
Well, you
up
have
and
to give
speak
them,
out?
and you have to direct them to the where they can get the best help. If somebody having drug problem, you direct them to the programs. You know,
And where can we find
well,
these
programs
programs?
they're always advertising. It comes up on the news. You can call up Google.
Crisis,
You can Google. I mean,
the crisis
it's all
hotline.
the crisis intervention and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and get to where the person definitely needs to be, and
Yes.
advise them to be there. Give them as much help as you can. They may need transportation, things like that. And then the other thing is, people like that, they have other problems, like they may not they may not be getting food as they should. Then food, shelter, all those things come into play, and you have to
100%.
try to direct them in the right place where they can get the help that they need.
Yes, absolutely, for sure. So I have a program also on Facebook, and I start like 6 p.m. on Mondays, and because of this, I want to reach as many people globally, so to speak, and I want to reach the hearts of people who are really, really going through, and it speaks to the book that you have in your hand. She has a book, y'all. She has the book in her hand.
Finding
Finding
joy
joy
in the
in
dirt.
the dirt. Finding joy in the dirt. How do you are when was there a time in your life when you, Rachel, was going through a rough season, a rough patch, and how did you got to where you are? How did you evolve from that?
Well, it comes from my experience, and I grew up with a sense of faith, prayer, nowhere to
Tap
ask
into.
for help, and you know who to go to get the help, and you know what you have to do for yourself.
Hundred
Like
percent.
in prayer, I believe in prayer, and I
Looking at that because you're over there too. Looking at that too.
yeah, I say I believe in prayer,
Mm-hmm.
so I pray.
Yeah.
I'm not a prayer warrior as such,
You are.
but I do pray. I pray for guidance. I pray for acceptance and health and strength to do what God wants me to do.
Yes. Yes. Um, Thank you. I'm going to delve a little bit deeper, and you can say less or you can say whatever you want to say. You can be as vulnerable as you want to. I know that I for myself, I've been through divorce. I've been through homelessness, and I've been through rejection. I've been through abandonment. I've been through deception. I've been to blackmail, just all of the above that you can think of. And I can have the ability. I had the ability to write that book, and I want someone who is going through or has gone through what I have been through to be able to speak out. What would you say to that person right now? Look into the camera, and you have two cameras. So look into the camera and say, give that person hope, give that person's encouragement to stay there and know that it's going to get better.
Well, hope springs eternal. And once you have a foundation, I know what poverty is, but I'll tell you one thing.
Yeah.
We were poor, but we were never hungry.
Yeah.
Because here was the sea, here was the river,
There was
and
food in the back.
here was the plantation.
Plantation, yeah.
So you know how to get food. You know how to, you get the innovation. It's given to you. It's an instinctual thing. You
Yeah.
have the instinct to go out there and find food. So, hunger was not a thing.
Yeah.
But all the grand necessities of life,
Yeah.
no, we didn't have that. But one thing we had,
family.
and you get encouragement from your parents.
Yeah.
You have a brain that God gives you, and you go out and you use it to the best of your ability. You have some ability. You see what people do. You form in your mind what you want to be.
Yes.
You want to be somebody.
Yes.
My thing was, I don't want to be at the end of the line. No way.
Yes.
I'm going to be somebody. Whatever it is,
Yeah.
I'm going to be somebody. So you
Yes.
have to have that innovation, if you want to call it.
That is
you
it.
have to have that to push you through.
Yeah.
And then it comes from your home, whatever you get from home to what it
Upbringing.
show, your upbringing has something to do with it too.
Amazing.
You do.
Yep.
And of course, everybody goes through some kind of problem. Everybody handle their problems differently. Some people speak out. Some people just like to observe and hold it down, and you don't do a whole lot of talking, but you know
Still
what you have at the
struggling.
back of your head to do.
Mm-hmm.
And let me remember a friend of mine. She lives in New York.
That's her.
They're fine now, but she used to complain. She would come. That is her. She's a teacher. And she would complain. Her husband used to give her a hard time. And as a matter of fact, he told her he gonna leave her when the children they grow up. And let me tell a girl, you watch, he ain't going nowhere. When them children grow up, you're gonna see he right at the doggone house, and sometimes. But different people handle their situations differently.
Yes, for sure.
Differently.
For sure. Rachel, I thank you so much. But before you go, Rachel, tell us a little bit about your childhood, because y'all hear our accent. I'm Jamaican. Rachel is from Tobago.
Tobago.
Rachel is from
Trinidad
Trinidad.
and Tobago, because it's two
Yes,
islands.
Rachel is from Trinidad and Tobago, and
the little island of Tobago.
tell us a little bit about your
Tobago
upbringing.
is a small island that you can navigate it ride around the island in one day if you're really ambitious and everything. It's a loving place. People love the little island, and they're not rich as such, but they have